Hi, and welcome to the video on how to plot data using Google Sheets. So the first thing you need to do is open up the Google Sheets, which will be in, of course, your Google Suite. And create your document. And then the next thing you're going to do is you are going to type in your X and Y data, which I've done over here. I'm using the years 1999 to 2010, and this is the US population in that time. Once you have all of your data plotted, the X, of course, in the A column and Y in the B column, you are ready to actually plot your chart. And so for that, you're going to start by clicking in the box that has year, so the box in the upper left corner. Hold down the Shift button while you're doing that, and click on the box in the lower right corner over here so you can highlight all the data. So essentially just get all of your data highlighted. Then you're going to go to Insert. Got it, get out of here. Insert Chart, and it will automatically plot your data for you. But the thing is, you want to plot this data as a linear, quadratic, or an exponential. So we're going to change that. The chart editor usually pops up as soon as you create a chart, which is what you're going to need. And you're going to need to go to Customize and then to Series. And I'll show you a little bit more about how to fix that in a moment. But if it doesn't pop up for some reason, so let me go ahead and close this. You can always open it if you click on the plot. You see the three dots. Click on that, then go down to Edit Chart, and then once again, here's your chart editor. Okay, so now we're going to go to Customize, and since you don't need, it looks like you don't need a picture of this chart, we can go straight to Series. You don't need to really mess around with what it looks like here. And when you go to Series, you're going to then use the scroll down bar, scroll down, and this is where you want to be, where it's formatting. Because what you're going to do is you are going to add a trend line. So the three boxes here, the bottom one, click on that to add a trend line. And the default is linear, so it's already on a linear function. And now all I need is to show the equation. For that, you'll scroll down and go to Label, and then click on Use Equation. Now, if they want to show how off this equation is, I don't remember if your project asked for that. This basically shows how far, show R squared shows how far it's off. This has an R squared of 1, but I don't think you need that, so you don't have to click that box. So with that being said, now you have the equation up top here, and the equation is a little weird to read. But remember, this first one is a linear, so the formula for linear is y equals mx plus b. So what exactly is this equation look like in the y equals mx plus b formula? You can click on, double click on and copy the equation. So this is the equation for the linear plot. And I'm going to show you kind of what I did here. I pasted that over here, that same equation. Let me go back here. So this same equation, I pasted that over here. And you can see how it matches up, how it lines up to the y equals mx plus b. So the first number is your m, is your slope. Then you have x, which is where you're putting the year that you're looking for. And then b is the y-intercept. And one thing that's kind of weird is that they use this capital E, just in case you don't know what that means. That's powers of 10. So that E translates to 10 times 10 to whatever power is next to it. In this case, it's positive 6, so that's just times 10 to the 6. Okay, so this is the equation that you get for the linear plot. And then when you're ready, I think at some point in your project, you are going to have to use this equation for the linear plot for a certain year. I used it for the year 2022. This is what it would look like when I would plug in 2022 in for X. Okay, so that's how you do the linear. How do you do the other ones? So let's go back once again. I'm going to click on the chart, click on three dots, edit the chart, go to Customize over on the right side, then Series, and then scroll down. And it's still on trend line, but this time I want to change it to, I think the next one I'm doing is quadratic. Now you notice quadratic is dot here. A quadratic function is a type of polynomial. So you click on that. And then you need to make sure the polynomial degree is 2 because that's a quadratic. It's the second degree of a polynomial. So like x squared, right? So it's on there right now. And once again, you want to make sure it says use equation, which it does. So the equation has already changed and you can see that. But in the case of the quadratic equation, it's kind of in a weird format once again. So again, you can double click on that and then just copy and paste it into like a document, and I'll show you what that looks like. So when I copied and pasted into the document, this is what we got here. But notice the quadratic structure is ax squared plus bx plus c. But the ax squared part of the equation is over here, all the way to the right. So you kind of have to switch that with the part that's first, because that's your c part, that's your constant. So this formula looks like this. 3,346 x squared minus, because it's when you have a plus and a minus next to together, of course, it's like subtracting. 1.07 times 10 to the 7, because remember that big E is times 10 to whatever power. X, don't forget that X there, because that's the BX part. And then plus the constant, the part that has no X next to it. And so that's what that equation looks like. And then when it's time to solve for it at a certain year, again, I'm using 2022 as the year. I don't remember what year you needed to use. You would plug that 2022, whatever year you need to use, in for X and then solve. Okay, the last one is exponential. So let's take a look at how we would do that one. Again, it's the same process. So your data is already highlighted. So all you got to do is go again to edit the chart if it's not open. Let's see. Oops. Edit chart. There we go. Customize series. Scroll down. You want to make sure add a trend line is highlighted. But now we're going to change it from polynomial to exponential. And this is the formula that we get here. And once again, it has a weird structure. So I'm going to double click that. I can double click it and then copy and paste that data, that equation. And for the exponential, the general formula is E is a constant called Euler's or Euler's number. So AE raised to the power of BX. All right. And so this is the structure from the Google Sheets. I just copied that equation directly from Google Sheets. This equation is here. And once again, I'm just going to kind of show you how it would be restructured. This is saying 2.34 times E raised to the power of 9.3 times 10 to the minus 3 times X. And it's a little difficult for me to use Google Documents to show that. So what I did was I kind of translated what the 9.3 times 10 to the power of negative 3x looks like. And if you were to move it from, this is called scientific notation with the times 10 to the 3. If you were to change it to standard notation, which is just a decimal format, it'll be 0.0093. So because it has a negative power, that means it's less than 1. And that means that, and because it's negative 3, that means I have to write in 3 zeros before I start typing in the 9 and the 3. Okay, so I just kind of wrote it that way. Maybe it makes it easier to see. Okay, so that's that part BX here. So I just plug that in there. And then when it's time for you to solve for the year, you would type in whatever year it is, in this case 2022 for me, and then you would just solve it that way. All right, I hope this helps. If you have any more questions about how to do it or how to solve, let me know. All right, have a quality day.